Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to talk about the new feature that's been added to RSSMasher that allows you to add sitemaps into the Mash. Now before we get going on this, you must own the WordPress site that the sitemap comes from. And this is because we're using a clever API call that will use your credentials to talk to the WordPress website to pull the articles down. The reason we've written this is so that we can rewrite older content that's on your site. So let's say you've got a WordPress site that's been active for say 12 months and you've got new information going in, but say 6 months to 8 months back, the article's there, they don't see any light anymore. So we can then go and get those, we can rewrite them, we can update them and put them back in over the top so that when they get re-looked at by Google and the search engines, it looks as if you've made a change. So basically you've refreshed the content and it forces the search engines to re-index it. So how do we do this? So let's get a sitemap from a WordPress site. Obviously, you've integrated the WordPress site already into your integrations, so you've got the credentials working perfectly already. We're going to manage mashes. I'm going to click add. So the title of this one will be, I'm just going to call it Rewrite Sitemap Demo. And I don't want any of these checkboxes, so I'm going to go straight down to update. So now you will have noticed we've got all the relevant tabs, but we've got a new one called Sitemap. Now, you can still create a mash with all the other things inside, as well as sitemaps. So we need a sitemap to put in this box. So we go over to the sitemap on your WordPress site. Now, if you normally go to something like, if you've got Yoast, then it will be sitemap.xml, press return, and it will go back to the index of the sitemap and it will display different sitemaps. Now the one that we want is the post sitemap, because if we click on that one, you'll see that it's got the articles referenced inside. So if we copy the post sitemap, now yours may be a different name depending on which plugin you're using. So if we go back to RSSMasher, we can paste that into there and click add sitemap to mash. Now it's dropped it down into the bottom box. And then we can say how many articles do you want to create or extract rather. 1, 5, 10, etc. I'm going to just select 1 for now. And then article older than. So this is anything from a week up to 6 months. Then we can select, if we select 3 weeks, then it will only pull articles that are 3 weeks or older, and so on for 3 months, etc. So I'll select 3 weeks on this one because I know that some of the articles are newer than that. So we'll go back 3 weeks. And then you need to select the site credentials. Now these are already into your integrations for your WordPress. So if we drop down the box, you'll see all the WordPress sites. And if we pick the wrong one, you'll see an error, domain does not match the sitemap. So it knows that those weren't the correct credentials for this domain. So I shall select the correct ones and it's quite happy with that. So now we need to choose a reinvent a template. So if we go over to AI Masher, and then if you go to the reinventor menu and then go to reinventor templates, you'll end up on this screen. And this is where we create the templates that are used in RSSMasher. So I've got one down here, 381. And in this template, I'll just go over it. We're going to use our own API keys. So I'm using RSSMasher. I've chosen 0.6 for the temperature. And you can get an explanation of temperature by clicking this if you don't understand what that means. I'm going to avoid common words that AI likes to put in. We don't want those, so we tick that box. So, do we want a cleanup prompt? Well, we don't in this example because we're using sitemaps, and sitemaps are already a clean article, so there's no cleanup to be done. Now, the rewrite prompt, we've got quite a few in the drop down. I'm going to use the Guardian UK longer format. So when it comes across from RSSMasher, it will use that as the rewriting prompting. I'm going to use GPT-4o Mini. And then once it's rewritten, we're going to get a summary of it. I've used the Guardian 100 words. I'll use GPT-4o Mini for that. And then we're going to want a voiceover. Well, my voiceover is, I'm going to use the summary article. So the summary article that's done here, we will turn into a voiceover. We want to position that audio above the first subheading. You can put it at the top if you wish, but I'm going to put it above the first subheading. And I'm going to use OpenAI. I'm going to use TTS as the model, number one. We've got 2 HD. This one is very good still, and it's cheaper, so we use that one. And the voices, I'm going to use Echo. Now the text that we put across the top of the voiceover will either be listen to this article or a summary of this article. You can put in there whatever you want. Use Spintax, which is text, pipe, text, pipe, text, pipe, text, pipe, text, and then close with a curly bracket. You can put as many in as you wish, and it will pick one at random for you. So I'm going to embed the HTML player, yes. And I'm going to include the images, yes, but I'm not going to use AI to create any images. And that's the name of the template, which you can change if you wish. And I'll click update, and then it's done. So we go back over to RSSMasher, and then we choose that template in this box. Now, if you've just created a new one, you'll need to refresh RSSMasher to bring those new templates in. And we do that by going to integrations and AI Masher. I'll open a new tab so that we don't leave where we are at the moment. So this is the AI Masher integration, and then there's a button there called Get Reinvented Templates, and if you click that, then it will bring in all the latest, all the new ones you've done. They'll be at the bottom. There's the one that we built. So let's go back to our sitemap in the MASH, and we will choose that reinvented template by selecting it there. Now, what are we going to send to AI Masher? Now, we've got Scraper or we've got content. So we're going to send the content because we've got the content. It's your article on your WordPress, so we're going to send that across to AI Masher. When it gets there, when you set the system live, it's going to go through the template. It's going to produce all the steps for you. It's going to rewrite it all, do the summarization, do the voiceover, and then it's going to send it back. And once it comes back, it'll go through whichever schedule we assign it. Because it knows it came from a WordPress, it will overwrite the original with the rewritten and refresh the content for you. It won't add it as a new one. So, because it's a MASH, you can still add listicles, helpful content. You can still do hooks and anchors, etc. But I'm going to go to build, and I'm going to click on build. And then I'm going to preview web, and you'll see that it's pulled in the one article that's already on the website. So when we know that that works, so what that did is it actually pulled the article by talking with the API behind the scenes, using the credentials, grabbing the article that was in the sitemap that was according to the rules of how old it was, because in the sitemap we said only ones that are 3 weeks old or older. So we pulled that in so that you could see that it was working. And then we do finish and activate. And that's got that active now. So the system will take over and it will apply those rules and it will start sending it to RSSMasher, and RSSMasher will go through its rules and it will then eventually send it back. So while it's doing that, you need to set up a schedule. Now the schedules, I shall create a new one, add. I'm going to call this the sitemap rewrite demo. And we need to select the mash that we did. And I called it the something similar. There we go. Rewrite sitemap demo was the mash. And then when do we want to post? So just like before, and like any normal schedule, you set it up the same. So I'm going to say, well, any time between 8 in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. And I'll just put 5 in each of these days for now. And what's the wait time between the posts? You would probably want to do something like 60 minutes or something, depending on how many you've got. But if this schedule is just for the sitemap rewrite, you might want to do something like 2 hours or something like that. Do not post if older than, we can disable that because we know that we're sending articles back to overwrite the original. So that's okay. So I'm going to click update. And then down here, I'm going to add the WordPress site that we took it from in the first place, which was, shall I share my screen using the app password? And then down here, we can do all the same things as we do with RSSMasher. Use first image as featured image, yes. Upload all images. We want to post the content, yes. Do we want to exclude the first image from the post? And that's because some themes have got, they use the first image as a featured image, and if that's the case, to prevent it doubling up when you actually click on it and look at it, you can exclude first image from post, and that will stop that doubling up feature. The rest, creating tags with AI, and if you've got the API club, it can do that for you. We don't need any spinning. I'm not going to index it, and I'm not going to silo this category. I'm just going to click update. So now we've got that in, and obviously you can still add, go to Tumblr and all the other things that you used to do. But I'm going to make that active, and I'm going to click update and finish. So now we've got this rewrite schedule looking at the rewrite sitemap demo mash that we did. And if we go across to RSSMasher and go into build article, we can see there we've got one that came in. It's already done, finished, and sent it back to RSSMasher about 4 minutes ago. Perfect. So if we go back into RSSMasher, so we know that we can check that if we go to collected data, we can check, and then we can search for the right mash, click on filter, and you'll see that we've got one that's come in. The status is new, which it would say awaiting RSSMasher if it hadn't been rewritten and sent back, but it has. So this has been rewritten now, so we're just waiting for the system to send it back to your WordPress site and overwrite the original with the new rewritten one, which has refreshed that content for you. And Google will then eventually pick it up as, because it's the same URL, so it will know, it'll think, oh, this article's changed, I better go back and revisit it and re-index it, which gives it a second lease of life. So now we'll just wait for this to be posted. If we go to the post menu, click on all and go to the rewrite. It's not picked it up yet, so it's not in the list. So we'll come back when this bit is complete. So now you can see that the system has picked it up and it's dropped it in ready for the posting to take over. So the system's detected that a new article had appeared, it's prepared it, it's worked it out what it was, and it's dropped it in the post grid down here, ready for, in this example, the social is WordPress. So we're waiting for the WordPress system to pick it up and post it for you. So now, as you can see, it's now posted this to our WordPress site. So let's take a look. Now, the original was who was the first non-American to win an Oscar in a foreign film appreciation. And we've got the first non-American film to win the Oscar for Best International Feature Film was Federico Fellini. So if we go across to the website now, this is the rewritten version. So we've got the trailblazer of international cinema, the first non-American Oscar winner. And we've got the Oscar for Best International Feature Film made history in 1957, when you can see it's completely different. We've got the summary here, which we can play.
Federico Fellini's La Strada made history in 1957 as the first non-American film to win an Oscar for Best International Feature Film.
So that's good. And you can see the original images have been maintained. And we've got titles, subtitles, subheadings rather, and there we go. So we've maintained the images, but the text and the title is different, but it's on the same URL. And if we look at the home screen, this is only a test WordPress site. So if we scroll down, and then you'll see that before it was who was the first non-American to win, and it was done on August the 29th. Now that, if we look at it now, that's gone, because it's now the trailblazer of international cinema, which was done today, Christmas Eve. So I hope you like this new feature of being able to take a sitemap in and completely rewrite it with RSSMasher, and we can send it back and schedule it, and it overwrites the original with the new one to refresh the content. So hope you all have a nice Christmas, and you've probably watched this video after Christmas, hopefully not on Christmas Day, you'll be eating turkey. And so enjoy your Christmas and enjoy the new feature. See you soon.